Hello, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I hope everyone is getting well by the grace of Almighty Allah. Welcome to another day of learning in Institute of Global Professionals. Thank you everyone for joining with us in this marvelous session. Today I am your host. I am Kamrul, coordinator of IGP from Bangladesh. Thank you all again for joining with us in this marvelous session, and I hope you stay with us till end. Before starting the program, I request everyone to share this webinar in your newsfeed and social media. And don't forget to tag and mention your friends in the comment box, because your attachment encourages us to do better for our audience. Our mission is to empower our youth, so stay with us by your support. Before we have completed our 773 webinars successfully. Now I will be presenting webinar number 774, and the topic is effective use of ICT in teaching learning process. We have a speaker from Pakistan. Today our speaker name is Dr. Imran Latif Saifi. He is Associate Lecturer of Department of Special Educational, the Islamic University of Bawalpur. Let's welcome our speaker to the screen. Before starting the program, I request everyone to share this webinar in your newsfeed and social media. Let's welcome our speaker to the screen. Hello, sir.
Assalamu alaikum. How are you? Hello.
Yes, sir, I hear you. Thank you, sir,
Hello.
for
Hello.
joining.
Can I hear you? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I hear you.
Okay. Okay. Thanks a lot. Assalamu alaikum and good morning to all. Hope you all will be fine. Okay.
Okay, sir, you can start your presentation now.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. First of all, I want to introduce myself. I am Dr. Imran Latif Safi, lecturer, Department of Special Education, the Islamic University of Bahawalpur. Uh, and today I will share some ideas and things with you about effective use of ICT in teaching learning process. First of all, we have some questions over here. Kindly note down these things for your understanding and for future use. What do you understand? What is ICT? ICT stands for Information and Communication Technology. Is it true or not? What do you think? Yes or no? I think you have the access to answer the question by using the chat box. You can write your answer in chat box, please. Okay, information is data that has been sorted and arranged. Is it okay? What do you think about information? Data consists of organized facts and opinions people receive during daily life. Kindly send your response. Changing data into information is called data processing or information processing. It involves gathering, organizing, and reporting data, so it is useful to people. It is often done using information technology and some tools of information and technology are as under radio, television, video, DVD, telephone, etc. And, data include information, facts, statistical information, and ideas. Communication is the act of transferring information from one place to another place. Connecting computer with each other for exchanging information is networking. Now we are moving to concept of ICT. What is ICT? As I told, ICT stands for Information and Communication Technology. Technology that we use to get information and communicate with others is called information technology, information and communication technology. During last decade of 20th century, there was extraordinary development in information and communication technology, which led to a transmutation of processes and practices in almost all aspects of human activities. We have seen that during COVID, ICT got higher usage. So it was much beneficial during COVID-19. Information and communication technologies are the technologies used in the conveying, manipulating, and storing of data by electronic means. Is it clear? Any question, please? I request host to show the comments, please. Information is data that has been stored and arranged. It consists of organized facts and opinions people receive during daily life. Changing data into information is called data processing or information processing. It involves gathering, organizing, and reporting data, so it is useful to people. It is often done using information technology. ICT tools. Now we have to get information about the tools those were used in the process of ICT when we get information and then communicate that information to others. So here are some tools: radio, television, video, DVD, telephone, fixed line, and mobiles. Both are included. Satellite system, computer and networking hardware and software, equipment and services associated with these technologies, such as video conferencing and electronic mail, blogs, etc., are the tools that we use in ICT. Information and communication technologies, people often use the term information and communication together. These terms are related but each means something different. Information is something else and communication is something else. So we have to use these two terms separately. Here we must get information about the terms information and communication. Uh, the two words we need to know to understand communication technology are data and information. Basically, information came from data, and uh, then when we process the data, then it is called information. Okay. Data includes individual facts, statistics, and ideas. As we have idea about students, um their hobbies, about their routine work, about their like and dislike. That is information. And when we get their personal biodata, that is data. These facts and ideas are not sorted or arranged in any manner. Data is not stored in and arranged in any manner. When we have arranged that data in some kind of um, arrangement, then it will be information. Um, I think so. There might be some questions or queries to answer. So may have idea about my presentation that people are listening to me and they are understanding to me, but nothing is visible to me. Kindly, I request host to provide me the answer asked by the audience, please. Host, please, provide me the feedback, please, if any. Hello, are you there?
Yes, sir, I hear you.
Uh, is there any question from the audience?
Sir, after your presentation, we have question and answer session.
Okay. It means that I have to complete my presentation first and then
Yes,
they have.
yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
okay. Thanks for clearing. Okay. What is communication? Communication is simply the act of transferring information from one place to another place, from one person to another person, from teacher to student, from guide to mentors. Okay. So when we transfer the information from one place to another place, that is called communication. There are three basic types of communication: oral communication, written communication, and non-verbal communication. Sorry, there are two main types of communication: verbal communication and non-verbal communication. Verbal communication is that in which we use words in written form or in spoken form. We use word, then it is called uh, verbal communication. And non-verbal communication is related to the physical gestures of our body. When we use our facial expressions, our body parts to respond as some certain situation, then it is called non-verbal communication. Okay, when we come to verbal communication, there are basic two types: mm, oral communication and written communication. So there are main two types of uh, verbal communication. So exchanging information from computer to another computer, it is also communication. When we discuss about the ICT, then it is exchanging information from one computer to another computer. That is communication. Okay. The classic communication system is made up of an information source, an encoder, a transmitter, a receiver, a decoder, a storage, retrieval, and an information destination. That is important thing that you people have idea about the sources of communication, which sources we have to communicate the data, and how much information we have to deliver, and how we can be able to transmit the information. We use encoder. Suppose I am speaking here, and there is some transmitter that is internet, a receiver, a mobile or a laptop that you are using to hear me or see me. That is your transmitter or receiver, and a decoder means that decodes my speech. If you have a language other than English and you cannot be able to understand English, you can use decoder. Storage is basically storage device that store that information and retrieve when you want to use it again, or whenever you want to listen it. So these are the basic sources of communication, information communication. Okay. So let's see the synchronous communication, online chat. We use online chat on mobile by using WhatsApp, by Facebook, by Messenger, by text message, by uh, so many other softwares and sources or platforms are there. So online chat, text based, audio based, or video based. You people know that we use several platforms for online chatting, video chatting. Uh, the common software is used in these days is WhatsApp. Everybody know about the WhatsApp, that how much it help the teaching and learning process during COVID-19. Mobile technology, mobile conferencing, we use phone to engage others. We can make conference calls and etc. Satellite television channels, video conferencing. This conference is also the in the mm, domain of satellite. Okay. That is video conference, and we are all are engaged in video conference. Okay. Asynchronous communication discussion forums. We have some forum on the different webs and blogs, e-groups, Wikipedia, knowledge base, Google, mobile, SMS. There are so many different forums are available on Google if we visit Google. Okay. Scope of internet as ICT. Uh, we know that internet is a very essential tool to use ICT, and if we don't have access to internet, then we are nothing. We are unable to use ICT effectively. So, scope of internet and ICT is very wider, much wider. But some of them, some areas I have covered. We use ICT effectively in education, research in education, educational research, in different uh, type of research. We use ICT in communication layer and entertainment activities, exploring the world, finance, shopping, and many more. We have to use the internet technology in many more fields. Scope of internet as ICT in education. ICT as a tool to innovate teaching, learning practice via internet, digital content, media, multimedia, teaching, learning methods, learning environment. ICT is a very broad term, and I think so. In this era of technology, it is impossible that the teacher that have no idea about information and communication technology will be able to deliver his or her lecture effectively in the classroom. So every teacher must have idea and must have grip on the ICT tools and techniques. He or she may have idea to use multimedia. He or she may have idea about the use of different platforms. to engage students and many more. ICT as an administrative tool, Education Management Information System, EMIS. Every university used that system. In COVID, we have seen that many universities launched a LMS, Learning Management System, or other platforms to engage their students, as there was no possibility to engage the students in teaching and learning process inside the university, because physical classes were not possible, and educationists were much worried about that problem. So they have facility of ICT to engage their student. ICT as an expanding learning opportunity, distance learning, e-learning. Distance learning is much in these days, as there are two basic modes used in distance learning. One was communication, virtual model, and other was correspondence model. And we have seen that correspondence model was used in the universities working on distance mode. Suppose we have Allama Iqbal Open University in Pakistan, and many other countries have that kind of model in which they send books to the students on their mailing address, and receive their written assignments and like that. That was much complicated because in far-flung areas there was impossible to reach to the students. Nowadays, it is much easier uh, with the help of ICT, and that model is called visual model or visual mode, in which it is very easy to engage students with the help of ICT. Even teachers use WhatsApp and other technology to communicate students, and they can send their material by using WhatsApp and other by email by other sources. So ICT have made teaching learning process much easier than the other source and means of information and teaching learning process. As I mentioned that there were two modes, virtual mode and correspondence mode. So correspondence mode is, I think so, the oldest way of sending information to students. They send books, they send assignments, and like that. So I think so. ICT made teaching learning process much easier. We will see in next slides about that. ICT as facilitator of higher order thinking skills, i.e., learner centered, self directed learning, tailored learning. Okay. We see that when we teach our students in traditional classroom, uh, the teacher is authoritative. He or she have much authority. He or she imposes his decision to his or her students. But when a teacher integrate use different technology in his or her teaching, his or her teaching is much successful. The reason behind that the attention of the student is much better than the traditional classroom. So it is called learner centered. That learner is much active in that process. He or she have to search the material. He or she have to type his or her own assignments by using laptop. He or she have to listen videos or to find more and more material on the different search engines. So he or she is much, I think so, much involved in his learning. So I see due to ICT is it is please block these kind of pop-ups as they had my please avoid these kind of pop-ups. Traditional versus internet-based ICT education approach. Now we have to see that what is the difference between traditional classroom, as I mentioned earlier, and with the ICT in education. Physical limited size. You have some restrictions that this room have a space for 20 students. You will be able to entertain 30 students maximum if you try your best. But in ICT, you can engage as much as student you can. Okay, first of all, the first comparison between traditional class, synchronous, anytime, anywhere. You can start your lecture anytime, anywhere. Your student has access to listen your lecture anywhere, anytime, um, because he have access to your literature, your things, PowerPoint transparency, etc., multimedia simulation, digital library. Okay, in traditional classroom, only PowerPoint transparency, etc., is available to teacher. But in ICT, teacher have much sources, much resources. He or she can use multimedia simulation, digital library, many more. Textbook library, video, etc., is available on traditional classroom, but in the ICT engaged classroom or with the using of ICT tools, students can access digital library. They don't need textbooks. They can their self uh, they can search the material. They can use different learning path. Okay, they can learn vis- uh, uh, by different I mean to say search engines. They can have information from different forums. But in traditional classroom, they only have uh, one source, that is teacher, or other is book. They have nothing in that. But in ICT, they have many sources. They can learn from videos. They can listen lectures. They can share ideas with each other, not in their own city, native city, but other cities, other countries across the border. So they have much facilitation by using ICT. Psychology of using teaching aids, which includes ICTs. Here is an effective saying: I hear, I forgot. I hear, I forget. Verbal description only are not enough for learners to remember and understand. Visualization of object, especially in science and technology, is important. It is a fact that we promote rote learning. Our teacher is dictating. He is not leader. He is not guide. He is not mentor. He is acting like a dictator. He imposes his or her decisions on the students, and want that they hear him. But students of that age don't want to hear him because he or she don't have uh, facilitation of ICT. He or she is unable to use ICT tools. If he or she use ICT tool, then I see, I remember. I hear, I forget, I see, I remember. When someone sees something, he or she observe it, have some experimentation, then he or she remember it. Knowledge that is gained through the sight is more colorful, accurate, and permanent. It is said that 80% of our knowledge is gained through our eyes. Okay, so it is necessary that our teacher must have idea about ICT. He or she must have training of ICT, that how he or she can integrate his or her teaching. And without integration, he or she will be unable to engage the student in a successful way. ICT can help learning, develop understanding, develop understanding. The big opportunity that we have with ICT, that we can hear or read or lecture or communication or information that we have seen or heard or written read again and again. As we have access to that information, we can read it, we can hear it, we can see watch it again and again, and we can understand it uh, wherever we want. Speed and automatic functions of ICT can enable teachers to demonstrate, explore, or explain aspects of their teaching, and students learning more effectively. Use of spreadsheet to perform calculations in order that patterns can be concentrated on rather than. So you have to do calculation, but if you have calculator only, then you will be unable to use your senses properly. And if you use spreadsheet, you can be able to understand the calculation effectively. Extend access to sources. You have access to different sources. You can watch video from Pakistani teachers, from international teachers in Urdu, in Hindi, in English, in other languages also. Okay, you have the access to listen the lecture of any lecturer, and also have access to listen the lecture of a professor and any intellectual. You simply you have to go to YouTube or other platform. Those provide video lectures, so you can get help. The capacity and range of ICT can enable teachers and students to gain access to historical, recent, or immediate information through, for example, accessing information on CD-ROM or the internet. Uh, you know that definition of each and everything is changed day by day. Sorry. So, with the help of internet or ICT, you can access to historical definition of anything, a recent definition of anything, and you can also have idea about the views of different people, of different nations, of different backgrounds. Suppose research, we want to know about research. There are different meanings of research are there. Suppose um, a person who is doing educational research, he or she only views the research in educational perspective. But a person who is doing research in mathematics or physics or chemistry, he or she may have idea about the research according to his or her own perspective. So you can have different ideas and different things, and you can easily clear your concepts. Enhance inquiry skills. You can inquire things differently from different people, and you may have different ideas, different responses, different answers. Some people are unable to communicate their message to their students effectively, and some were unable to do that. So there are many people who are working on one topic, or suppose I am talking about research. Okay, enhance the communication of ideas. How we have to communicate our ideas. Effective teacher is that who can be able to communicate his or her idea in different ways. Because when you go to class, there may be 20 students, and these 20 are different personalities. Some of them are able to pick the things easily, and some of them are, I mean to say, very dull, and they are unable to understand your ideas in one way. So you have to mold your lecture or your things in another way. Sometimes you have to demonstrate something. You have to get the help of experimentation, or you may get help from video, or you may take them to some natural phenomenon. So um, ICT help to enhance the communication of idea, present information in ways which are accessible in different forums for different audiences. Suppose there are some people who are unable to hear, and some are unable to see, and some are unable to respond verbally. They are deafened. So, with the help of ICT, we can mold our information in different types for different peoples. People have with some special abilities, and in this process, ICT help us. Does ICT increase access to learning opportunities? What do you think? Access to learning opportunity. What is learning opportunity? You have idea about learning, that learn something new is called learning, or a change in behavior is called learning, or there are many different definitions of learning. But what is opportunity? Opportunity is the way you learn. Someone provide you some space or some environment to learn something. Suppose I want to learn Chinese, but I am unable to learn that in my area, as I don't have a teacher who can teach me. I don't have the literature, and I don't have the scenario, environment, you can say. When I have these things, then I have the opportunity to learn Chinese. Okay, understand? So learning opportunity, education opportunities in dispersed locations where conventional schools are not viable. There are some far-flung areas in which people don't have access to teaching and learning process. They are unable to learn something because they don't have resources. They don't have schools or institutions. They don't have teachers. They don't have books or material like that. So in those areas, internet is due to mobile networks. Internet is available and every people. It is my assumption that in this era, uh, many of us have access to mobile phones, and mobile phones have latest technology, Android and so many, so they can help from get help from ICT. A choice to students and parents of what they want to learn. Choice-based credit system. Choice-based, choice-based credit system. What is this? If I want to be a teacher, there is some certain boundaries and curriculum developed by experts, and we have to learn that, and we have to pass that degree, and then we will be able to be a teacher. But if someone wants to have a teaching certificate with some specialities, then he or she may adopt a curriculum or choice-based credit system or like that. A safety note for school dropouts so they don't lapse into illiteracy. Someone who dropped from school and due to the errors present in the system or due to his or her social problems or socio-economic problems, he or she can be able to get his or her information and knowledge and like that from ICT. Alternative venues to schools, second chance education, standardized curriculum materials, lifelong learning concepts, limiting fraud in assessment process, etc. There are many things that ICT increase access to learning opportunity. We can say that if someone want to get information, he or she can get it from anywhere. If or he or she want, he can use technology effectively and can get information or his desired degree or like that, because there are many institutions nowadays those are offering different kind of courses and programs for those students who don't want to be a regular student and have some problems or they want to do so with their own way. No, we have some useful key internet terms. Network. What is network? Connecting computers with each other for exchanging information. Network. That is network. Client. It is program or computer for getting special information from another computer. We suppose I am connected with the host computer of Google and I am getting information from that. Okay, server. It is a program or computer which gives information to the client computer. When I am connected with Google, the server that Google, the computer that Google used to store information and to provide information is called server. Protocol. It is rules for connecting to the internet. TCP or IP that are the types of protocol. Portal, it is website known as gateway of internet. Suppose I use www.iub.edu.pk. That is the website of my or portal of my institution. I have information over there about institution, that where it is located, what programs does it offer, how much faculties does it have, how many students does it have, like that. Okay, router. It is a device which decides where data will be sent. www World Wide Web browser. It is program which helps us to use internet website group of different web pages. URL universal resource locator. Okay, I think I tried my best to cover the basic concept of ICT. That what is ICT, how ICT is important, and like that. In next session, we will move to the importance of the ICT and other things. So let's move to the next session. Types of websites are written there. .com, commercial organization. .net, large network. .gov, government organization. Organize, NGOs use .org. .edu means educational organization. Military. There are many abbreviations or website domains. Okay, you must have idea about these kind of things, that abbreviation, that um, what is this and why it is used like that. ICT in education. Now we have to see focus on the ICT in education. ICT help teachers always. Importance of ICT is increased during COVID-19. WhatsApp, YouTube, and Zoom are used effectively during COVID. You can be able to answer this question of after the presentation. Mm. You may have no idea about these questions at that moment, but when you have that lecture completed, then you may have idea about. Okay, let's move. ICT integration in education before pandemic and during pandemic. Before pandemic, we have students in a classroom and we use ICT in the classroom at minimum level. We use soft boards and we use PowerPoint presentations. But during pandemic, we used Zoom, we used WhatsApp, we used YouTube, we used Google Meet, different forms. So there is a big difference between the usage of ICT during and before pandemic. Everybody have idea about that there I think there is no country or no nation those was not affected by the COVID. So every country and every teaching learning institute use these uh, technologies mentioned in this slide during COVID. Okay, so everybody might have an idea um, about these softwares and tools. ICT before and after. Um, there is something wrong with that slides. I think so. These are not visible. Okay. Before the pandemic, we don't have idea to generate our own material by using ICT. But in during the COVID-19, we were forced. We were, I mean to say, that we were forced to do that. Forced by administration, forced by students, forced by need of the student. As students were at home and they were unable to understand the things, so We have to communicate with them on video links, or we have to send them video lectures. So ICT help us more than our expectation during COVID-19. So when we produce our material by using ICT, we try to um, maximize our teaching, maximize our teaching by using ICT aids, different ICT aids. We can say integration. We use pictures, we use text, we use videos, we use different things in one lecture. So our student may have idea about all these things. So we introduce machine reading, we stop motion, we produce stop motion animation, we uh, develop interactive books. Okay, so ICT nowadays is much essential for education, and it is important, much important for the process of teaching and learning than ever before. We accept that ICT have influence on the process of teaching and learning, but during COVID-19, it was much better, and we utilize it and we enhance our skills. And now we are able to do these kind of things. We can be able to develop interactive books. We can be able to produce stop motion animation. We can use uh, machine reading, or we have softwares those can help us to read the material. So students with special needs, students those cannot be able to see. Here, visually impaired can use this software to read any text. So uh, we encourage students to listen things, to boost their listening skills. We produce different songs related to their learning subjects. Encourage the children to compose the poem into audio songs, and poem to songs, and science exhibition experimentation. uh, we perform science experimentation and make their videos and present it to the students by using different methods, ways, or software. And also we upload our videos on YouTube and different forums, so students can be able to see them. And we also used already available videos on YouTube and different forums. To ensure concrete learning, the students prepared video lessons. During COVID, we empower the students to understand things, and for that we give them idea to prepare different videos and different things to those they can watch. Children share their experience and subjects with another school students through Skype. Our students don't have idea about Skype. That what is this? But during COVID-19, they will be they will was were introduced to Skype, and they effectively used it to interact with their peers, with their other fellows, with their teachers, and like that. So children share their experiences and subject with another school students, or students with other country, or Students with the those have less information about that, and those have less resources. So I mean to say that due to ICT or video conferencing or use of video lessons or use of ICT, students are more empowered. They have more ideas. They have more connections. Tux math, tux time, etc. Offline games are produced students use to understand the different things. Suppose if when students have a problem to learn spellings, he or she can download the game that is working with spellings. Or some student, those have problem to understand mathematics. They have different software or games. Those deal with the mathematics. So there are different things that we have done during COVID-19. We made science model and present them to audience with the help of videos, recording audio lessons, and uh, ICT integration in classroom before pandemic and after during pandemic. Smart boards, LCD or projector only we use these 2 or 3 years relevant to ICT traditional classroom before pandemic COVID-19. But during COVID-19, we use online classes, Zoom, Google Meet, etc. We use WhatsApp, we use Telegram, we use YouTube. Okay, smart boards were only used PowerPoint presentation. We can only use PowerPoint presentation or offline games or YouTube videos only. But during COVID-19 or pandemic, we use online classes, WhatsApp, Telegram, YouTube, etc. These software were very much in as uh, they provide maximum opportunity to engage maximum students. One teacher can engage thousands of students through ICT by using Zoom, Google Meet, WhatsApp, Telegram, etc. Even YouTube can offer us to engage as much as people will want. So ICT integration in the classroom is much important, and I think so okay, that if a teacher is unable to have idea about the basics of ICT and don't have idea about the utilization of ICT or ICT tools and techniques, he or she is not effective teacher. Here is some examples of pictorial example of classrooms we have during COVID-19. That we send some document, and then after that we have discussion on that by using different um, platforms. How to reach the student, how we can reach the students by using ICT. We can use different gadgets, technology, internet, time, assessment, etc. To reach the students. Okay, strategies to reach students. How we can be able to reach students by using ICT. Online classes through video conferencing apps like Zoom, Google Meet, etc. We can use these platforms to engage the students to reach the students. uploading the videos on YouTube, sharing through WhatsApp. First, we have to upload our video on YouTube, our YouTube channel, and then we share the link with students on YouTube, WhatsApp, and different other forms. We can share it by email also and ask them to go to the YouTube and watch that lecture or that video you have prepared or you have prepared or you have selected for them. Because sometimes we select some videos for students that these videos are important for your learning. Online class is much important, and we can use YouTube, cable TV, OTG, pen drive, etc., CD, etc., for the purpose. For online class, student engagement is much important and challenging job that some of us are unable to engage the student. Myself faced the problem during my lectures, online lectures. Then I have some ideas, and then I go to YouTube and have some watched some videos about how I can engage students during my lecture. And I came to know that there are some tactics. One of them was that during lecture you can call anyone, Mr. Flan. Kindly uh, tell me about this that I have told you before. Please explain it. But for that, first of all, we have to inform them that how we have to cover these things. First of all, we have to allocate the topic. We have allocated the topic to students that these topics will be covered, and then we can then demo class and rolling out the brochure to the students, creating WhatsApp group, live online class, etc. These are the things that we can use to engage students effectively. And during our lecture, we can engage them by giving some examples, by giving them asking them some question, and many more, much more. Um, yeah, during session we may have at first we may have intro part or introduction about the topic. We can have uh, questions about their prior knowledge, that how much knowledge they have, or it may contain PPT, YouTube videos, textbook, etc. Evolution process may be there by asking different type of questions, or giving them some kind of activity, or providing them a link of Google form that I have uh, planned a questionnaire for you, and kindly this is the link, and go there and fill out there that. And assignment is also essential for that. That is some kind of um, assignments you can have from your student. You can ask them to draw some objects. You can ask them to write their own ideas on a simple paper and send it to you, or you can ask them some answers, and uh, give them role to write on the page, and send the picture to you. Write a poem replacing word. There are many techniques we can use at different levels. Now, we will have discussion about the effective use of ICT in education. So here are some questions you can have an idea about this question, or you may answer this question after the completion of this session. Google is a search engine. Facebook is a type of social media. I think you may have idea about the student use ICT tools to get information. Uh, Online test is helpful for students to prepare themselves. Microsoft Word is helpful tool to improve written communication. Mobile phone provide yeah, these are the question those may have. Okay, how we use ICT effectively? That is a big question. That is a big question. But I think that during COVID-19, every teacher came to know that how much important ICT is and how much effective it is. Even the teacher, those have no idea about ICT, may uh, now have idea about the importance of ICT and how it can be effective. Because it is effective, because it engage your students effectively, and I believe that each and everything that is engaged that is able to engage your student effectively is effective for teaching learning process. Everybody of us know that AV aids are much important and much effective for teaching. So ICT is a big AV aid. It is integrated aid that have much more tools to uh, things. Okay. Okay. How students use ICT tools? How much way or for what purpose they use? Here is some statistics finding information on the internet. 36% practice routine skills and procedures. 26% take tests or turn in homework. 17% write or edit stories, reports, etc. 15% analyze data or enter information. 15% assess class resources or online class. 12% collaborate with peers on learning. 9%. That are the statistics that how students use ICT tools and techniques. Okay, and making our school smart. So, what is smart school? The school which have maximum ICT tools and also use it. Only having tools are not effective or not good, but the utilization of maximum resources is important. Okay. Okay, that is the end of my presentation, and now we move to the question and answer session. Okay, thanks from my side.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, Sir Dr. Imran Latif. Thank you, sir, for your wonderful presentation. Thank you very much, sir. So
Thank
now
you.
we are so now we are proceed to our quiz competition, and after that we come
Okay.
back again with our participants in our question and answer session. Okay, sir. Dear participants, now we are proceed to our quiz competition. After a short video clips, we come back again. Today our quiz code is IGP. The quiz code is IGP. Let's enjoy our quiz video. Dear participants, this is our quiz session time. You can join this session by slido.com. First of all, you have to go to Chrome or any other browser. Then you have to search that slido.com, and after that you have to put the code, and the code is IGP. And after that you can join this session. You can also scan our QR code from the screen to join this live quiz session. Top 10 quiz competition winners get their quiz certificate after this session from our official Facebook page. There is no relationship between our quiz completion certificate and international webinar certificate. After quiz session, we have question and answer session, and after that, we share our certification process. I request everyone to join with your full name, which will directly pin on your certificate. And top 10 quiz competition winners get their quiz certificate. Now 46 participants already joined. We start our quiz competition after 1 minute later. We start our quiz competition now, so be ready. Our first question is, we use ICT in classroom. Is it to connect with our outer world or to make the learning more effective and efficient? Option number two, to make the learning more effective and efficient is the right answer. Our next question is, how technology is integrated in the teaching learning process? Is it playing computer games or introduce, reinforce, supplement, and extend skills? Option number two, introduce, reinforce, supplement, and extend skills is the right answer. Our next question is, practical advantages in learning process of media except since the role of teacher or give the same experiences to the students. Option number one, since the role of teacher is the right answer. Our next question is, designed to impact learners with knowledge in the learning process, provide layouts of teaching within the classroom. Is it conventional materials or instructional materials? Option number two, instructional materials is the right answer. Our next question is, the effective use of ICT depends on teachers' ability to integrate the use of books or teachers' ability to integrate the use of the application. Option number two, teachers' ability to integrate the use of applications is the right answer. Our next question is, all the things can be used as media in teaching. The statement is true or false. Option number one, the statement is true. Our next question is, what was BioWare used in teaching? Is it Zoom, Canvas, and Gmail, or Zoom, Canvas, Gmail, Google Forms, Kahoot, and others? Option number two, Zoom, Canvas, Gmail, Google Forms, Kahoot, and others is the right answer. Our next question is, it's one's capabilities in being able to participate in digital networks in the teaching and learning context. Is it ICT literacy or communication and collaboration? Communication and collaboration is the right answer. Our next question is, teachers should be capable of forming the learning environment in non-traditional way by merging the ICT in pedagogy. The statement is true or false? The statement is true, and option number one is the right answer. Our last and final question is, what is the key for effective teaching? Is it activity or motivation? Option number two, motivation is the right answer. Thank you everyone for participating in this session. And top 10 quiz competition winners get their quiz certificate after this session from our official Facebook page. On the leaderboard, now the top position is Alex Javier Alvarez, and the second one is Salian Annie, and the third one is Ellen Brutus, and the following Ginaline, Cristina Vidal Rosario, Ricky Colima, Lee Pacunla, Jeleni Cabrera, Nico Ronen, and the last one is Nika Jinna Xavier. Thank you, everyone. Now you proceed to our Q&A session. After a short video clip, we come back again. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, our first question is, what is the impact of ICT on learning and achievement?
On learning and
Achievement.
learning, and I am not able to hear you properly.
What
And
is the
on learning,
impact of ICT on learning and achievement?
on learning and assessment. Okay, okay, okay. Uh, Before COVID, I think ICT don't have much impact on learning and assessment. But after, during, and after COVID-19, ICT impact of ICT on learning and assessment is much increased. As I mentioned in my lecture, that there are several sources to learn by using ICT. Someone can contact a teacher by using WhatsApp or different ones at any time to learn about his or her theories, to understand about things that he or she was unable to understand during his lecture. And also he or she may have different platforms like YouTube or Google's and Google Scholar like that, to dig out more information and to have more information about their topic of interest, and they can learn more and more. So ICT play a vital role in learning. And when we came to assessment, uh, there are many platforms those can provide access to people to learn to assess their things, that how they are informed or how they are learned before their examination are going to assessment, so they can be able to prepare themselves very well or other things. So I think assessment is much better by using ICT. Student can prepare his or herself effectively. Also, a teacher can utilize it effectively. He or she can prepare one or two set of questions and send it to learners, and they when they perform these two tasks separately, they may have different questions and different scenario, so
Hmm?
they can be able to judge the students that how much he is learned or not.
Thank you, sir. Our next question is, how does exposure to and use of ICT in school affect future employment?
Yeah, that is a good question. Uh, as I mentioned, that era is the era of science and technology. I think so that every organization may require the people those have equipped with ICT. So uh, they demand first at first stage that do you have an idea about the ICT components or IC tools, and do you can use these components. So ICT is much effective tool to teaching and learning process, and I think so. Employers may focus on these things that their prospective employee must have idea about these things.
Thank you, sir. Our next question is, what was the most under underpinning issues that made the online teaching learning process not very successful?
Yes, that is much important question, and the thing that I personally feel is that student engagement is the much bigger problem during that this teaching learning process in COVID-19. If a teacher is able to engage his or her student effectively, his teaching is effective. But came to see that students show non-serious attitude. They only join different forums when teacher ask them to join. They join and start working their own activities and like that. Means they have no attention towards learning and towards the session. So the big thing is that how you are able to engage your student, and student engagement, I think so that was the big issue during the online learning during pandemic.
Thank you, sir. Dear participants, we are still waiting for your question. If you have any question related to this topic, you can ask the question in the comment box. We are still waiting for your question.
How many people were there during our lecture? Can you tell me the facts about?
So now live session 56 participants
Mashallah.
are joined.
From different countries.
Yes, sir, from Philippines, Bhutan,
Okay.
Pakistan, Bangladesh,
Do
any
I
other.
have I have the recording of that whole lecture for my personal record, or for my personal music?
Yes, sir.
No. Okay, that's good.
Sir, we have no more questions. Thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful presentation and sharing your valuable knowledge with us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I
Sir,
will.
what is your last
I
and final words for our audience? Hello, so can you hear me? Dear participants, today our program name is Effective Use of ICT in Teaching Learning Process, and the code is IGP 3032. The code is IGP 3032. Without code, no one is eligible for certificate. With code, you can claim your certificate anytime from our website. Our website address is eduigp.com. After downloading your certificate, don't forget to celebrate with IGP second. Thank you everyone for attending this session. Before ending the program, I remind you again that you like our Facebook page and subscribe our YouTube channel. Thank you everyone. We hope we will meet together in our upcoming webinar. And thank you. Stay happy, stay safe.